to ban. World Electronic Sports Games returns with a new season, the largest championship among national teams in the history of esports. Dota 2, Hearthstone, CSGO, StarCraft 2, and $5.5 million at stake. European finals will be held in marvelous Barcelona from the 22nd to the 26th of November. Win your slot in the finals of the World Championship. Register right now.
Seconds remaining.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the grand finals of the EU Qualifiers SLI Season 3. We got Game 2 between Team Secret and OG, as Secret did take Game 1. It was rather flashy, and man, I do love me some flashy Dota. We'll see what OG can put together here in the second game. I'm Mike Loris. Going to be joined by Kefka for the rest of the series, and well, we do have the Chen first banned. Rubik, you think? Maybe?
I don't think so. I think Rubik is specifically better when it's with Chen. It's still good though, obviously, for Japso. But I think definitely the Chen is the better ban. And then I think normally people would ban like Prophet, Nature Prophet. But I don't know if Farah plays it that much. He has played it, I know. But I don't know if he's like, if they will like first pick a Nature Prophet, you know.
Well, taking down the Nyx Assassin is entirely reasonable as well, leaving heroes like Venomancer, Shaker, Spirit Breaker still in the pool, like all those really big 4-pick.
There's a lot of cancer heroes with Lich, Necro, Veno are still in. AA. AA was banned actually, so that's the one cancer hero that's not available. But I'm expecting at least a Veno or a Necro pick now.
10 seconds
And they banned IO actually, so they respected that much
5 seconds
from Urax IO.
OG are
I mean, they
pretty good with the IO. I'm not really sure if like the first thing you think of when you think OG is, oh, you know, their IO is amazing, you gotta respect it. It's certainly good, but it does feel like it's kind of like a different direction as to what they normally go for a little bit.
I mean, if you think Urax, you don't think IO. You know, there's a few other heroes. But I wonder if they will try and steal the Rubik, or I don't think Rubik is the best with Lich though. But it's kind of weird thinking like, oh, how do they deal with Rubik? Do they pick it or do they counter it? It's kind of, I mean, it's still a Rubik, so it's not, you're not gonna auto lose a game because you let opponents have a Rubik. And this hero, I do love me some Brewmaster. It's, in my opinion, the most fun hero to watch, for sure. Like, he is so interesting, mechanically wise. Yes, he has a very interesting role in the game as well. So I do love that hero. And I wonder if there's something they should pick that's good with it. It kinda is a half push hero that has some kind of initiation and team fight. But he can be a bit weird in like team fights outside objectives.
Yeah.
So I do like Yakiro.
Jakiro will actually let them push, and at that point you don't really need Brewmaster to really split for the push, and that's not really going to be a high priority if you're the Brewmaster, I imagine S4 anyway. But it's like, oh, I split, the team fight kind of fizzled, I guess I'll take this tower. That's usually what's going to happen. Secret though, oof, Lich with the Rubik, so we're going to have 2 Yaps or Rubik games. Feels good, man. But I'm kind of on you with the Brewmaster. I feel like people don't pick this hero quite enough. Compared to what he does, he really just does it all. Like, he's really difficult to deal with in lane. Get a Blink Dagger and you're going to be a really primo initiator. You're going to be able to team fight really safely with your split. And if you are itemizing for it, and nowadays Brewmasters are starting to, once you get level 25, you just become an absolute right-click monster. Like, Troll Warlord, move out of the way. Brewmaster is here with his attack speed. It's like 150 attack speed talent. If you go for it. I mean, you do have options, of course, but that type of versatility, all in this one hero, and I'm completely down with seeing him first picked, although I think Brewmaster, the hero, has had his time in the sun. It's good to have a couple other heroes get their chance. It does seem like between a Rubik and a Lich, Team Secret will not really be able to truly lock down a Brewmaster. They'll just be able to slow him in his progression.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they play it. I think Rubik is pretty good against Brudo, it's very hard to actually get a spell off before Rubik managed to steal it. So that's one issue with the Brew here in this game. And other than that, they are gonna ban the Monkey King, so they are trying to get rid of the heroes that are kind of very strong against a hero like Brewmaster.
10 seconds
And there still is a Necro Venom though. I'm wondering if either team's thinking about it.
Remaining.
They are so common, so I'm surprised that neither team are kind of thinking or like touching them. You know, they're not banning it, they're not picking it, they're kind of leaving them on the side. Could be dangerous for the later picks. Normally would see a Shaker ban or something, but Secret has the Rubik, so they probably are somewhat comfortable leaving the Shaker. And wonder if they'll pick kind of non-initiation heroes again, as they did last game. Because last game they didn't have a standard initiation hero, like no Shaker, no Sand King, stuff like that. And I think maybe that's how they play, because usually your 3 or 4 is the initiator. But Yapstar hasn't really been an initiator type, and Fata is new to the lane, and he is playing a bit different heroes.
Yeah, you could always do something like a puck. Give that to, well, you know, I either put it mid or the off lane. You get some answers with that. Bat Rider for sure looking like a possibility for Team Secret. Venomancer and Necrophos still being in the pool are both a little bit clunky at actually dealing with that Brewmaster if you don't have a lot of burst damage. So yeah, it's going to be OG to pick up the Necrophos instead. And yeah, I think this is actually a pretty good setup for OG. Like, just with their ability to force these team fights, they may be a little bit under-leveled, but with the Brewmaster, if he has a Blink Dagger, if he has Split, and if he's actually able to get it off, and with only so far a Rubik Telekinesis to really stop him from doing that, it seems like Brewmaster should be able to get it off almost every single time. Plus, I didn't really realize this before, you get the Dispel magic on the Storm aspect, and you get rid of the Ice Armor. Oh yeah, that's some value right there. It
is. It's not bad. It's kind of I think Brewmaster is kind of like the Dispel mass AoE Dispel is one of the most forgotten OP really broken spells actually in theory, but in practice it's kind of like it's hard to get use of, and it's also hard to kind of notice it sometimes, which is also weird because you think it sounds so good, you know. The spell is like insane. Like a mass AoE Dispel for both opponents and teammates, but it's rarely you feel like that's what won the game, you know. That's what won the team fight, that spell. But it should be a spell like that, I think. So I'm gonna try and keep an eye out on it.
Yeah, it's usually just like not on the list of priorities for Brewmaster when you split. It's like you split, you obviously throw a rock first thing, you cyclone someone else, and then you try to right-click someone down. It's like, do you really have a lot of time there to gauge who needs to be dispelled? For sure, there are going to be something that you can dispel and some you can't. It's not like a press the attack. It's just like a regular dispel, whatever it's called in Dota. Basic dispel, I think, not a strong dispel. I think that might be the terminology. But either way, Team Secret, they get the Quap, get some mobility on the field for themselves. You know, pretty much almost universally good matchups. But OG now pick up the Keeper of the Light, so mana for the Brew, mana for the Necrophos. They can set up and just get entrenched right in front of your base team, and OG can just never, non-stop, just lay into your towers and constantly just force Team Secret to come to them.
Yeah, Keeper of the Light, Brewmaster is a very strong dual offlane, and Team Secret has to respect that by probably not picking certain carries that are too weak. Generally, like weak melee carries, like maybe Slark, Ursa, or could struggle a ton. Phantom Lancer maybe, and they could move into a draw lineup if they want. They're gonna go with Antimage. Antimage is so, you know, he can deal with it, but he is gonna have a bit of a rough laning.
Yeah, the lane doesn't look extremely clean for the anti-mage, and it does seem like Secret may be just a little bit lacking on that early game fight. Like, OG are going to be geared up for fighting very early on. Like, just look at their draft. It's pretty evident. They have the heals, they have the tower push, they have the team fight, they have it all. If Team Secret pick up a decent fighter for their last pick, and with just 4 heroes can constantly repel OG, trade somewhat evenly and just buy a lot of space for the anti-mage, just Secret out split pushing OG will certainly be something that OG will struggle to deal with. Their push is slow and methodical.
Remaining.
It's not super bursty with like Shadow Shaman Serpent Wards or anything like that, or a Desolator carrier.
Remaining.
So Secret may be able to split push and get a little bit of room for that from the anti-mage for the anti-mage. But again, it does seem like for OG they could just force those engagements. Their initiation perhaps isn't really all the cleanest from the OG side. Like I don't really know how they start the fight outside of a Brewmaster blanking in, but this does seem like a kind of the high risk, high reward hero that Secret need at this point. Because if he is able to get farm up against a hero like Nekfos, Coddle, hero like these are easy pickings.
I think the Anti-Mage is kind of a scary pick in that, first of all, you have one stun so far. Secondary, you could get snowballed this game and lose it. Which kind of, I wonder, I'm expecting them to do different lanes, as in not anti-mage safe lane or co-op mid. They could have either one of those and then change the other, but they're not. I don't think they're gonna go do completely standard lanes. And they definitely need some form of a stun in their last pick. I think it's gonna be really hard to play with only a Rubik stun. And depending on if it's a mid or off laner, they have a few choices. Puck is still doable. Yeah, it's gonna be the Puck. I think that's one of the more solid picks that also fit their players. Maybe you could look for another pick, but I think because of the players they have, they are not as versatile when it comes to melee initiator, as in Pata hasn't played that type of heroes.
So now you're OG, you see the entirety of the enemy draft.
Alchemist.
That much control. They have run Alchemist in the past. Has that ship kind of sailed? It seems like Secret may not be able to pressure that hero that much.
I don't know. It seems like they could pick it. It looks good, but then I think it will be bad in practice. Okay, they're gonna go it. I think it's risky. I do think it's a great pick in theory, and I don't think it's that easily shut down here. But in practice, I feel like they might get overrun, and I thought it was gonna be an Alchemist, but I couldn't really justify the pick either myself. So it's gonna be very interesting, definitely.
Yeah, I think it might just be like the separation from the Alchemist and the two supports that are on his team. Like these heroes don't really, they're not going to gank super aggressively. They're not going to buy space for the Alchemist in that fashion. If they are in a fight, a Coddle doesn't last long. A hero, I mean, he's tanky, I guess, but they don't really last long. So they can't really provide any sort of serious buffer for Resolution to actually escape those fights or do any significant damage in those fights. So it's going to be just all to the cores, as OG supporting cast is very much so just a kind of passive slow burn supporting crew. The Resolution Alchemist certainly does have a chance of just getting completely unstoppable in this game because Secret, they don't really have the ability to take down towers. Their supports are also very similar to OG supports, kind of slow. There's no Spirit Breaker here, right? That's like the big difference. They don't have that type of 4-position super aggro hero. So I think this Alchemist it's really risky for sure. It always is, but it does seem like a safer game to pick up an Alchemist. Plus, OG just run the Alchemist a lot. Very comfortable with that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting to see how they choose to lane both teams. If they're going to try and dodge, for example, Alch versus Lich, or if they want to make lanes in a certain way. Because I think, yeah, it's going to be Lich AM mid, which I think is the best choice. But they might be forced to rotate Lich to the Alchemist lane, and then you have an AM mid, which seems hard. I think there's a lot of agility heroes that are really good with Lich in lane, but Anti-Mage is kind of like, you don't have kill potential with an AM mid lane, like compared to a Morphling or PL maybe, So I'm a bit hesitant on this laning, even though I think it's one of the better choices.
It's going to try to greed out a little bit. This gives them like maybe a way of dealing with an Alchemist matchup that is a little unconventional. Just keep him out of mana as much as you can, prevent the acid spray from going down, and Alchemist he's got some pretty decent intelligence initially. Intelligence growth and overall just stat growth for Alchemist is rather pathetic, of course, balanced around that chemical rage. So Well, they will see S4 and Fada up towards top lane. Observe Ward, I think, might have caught Resolution up there. So there's going to be a lot of heroes converging up on Fada's rune.
It's
You really want to go in that? He's going to see the Drunken Haze. That's not too much of a surprise. I'm not really sure if they can dislodge. Let's see if OG can actually get this 2 rune for Resolution, because their secret shop one is pretty much locked up. Here comes the orb, and it's a little bit off the mark. Now Yapzor is going to get hit with the beer, and will take quite a bit of damage here. They're going to try to turn around, but Puppey is only a Lich. They can't really do that much damage, especially going into such a tanky hero as Jakiro. He's going to level up the Frost Blast, trying to go for this first blood. They need to get it for this Lich's sake, and they will do so. That is still, it's going to be 2 runes for the Alchemist, and it's going to be, no, it's 3 runes for the Alchemist. They save all of them.
I'm gonna call not worth for secret.
Yeah, and now the Lich doesn't even have sacrifice.
Yeah, I don't think that's worth it at all. I think that was, I mean, it's not like it's a bad play, but it was not worth it for sure. That was, I think Resolution is like, how did I get 3 runes, guys? Can someone explain that to me?
It's not even a minute in, and he has a Helm of Iron Will.
Yeah, I'm pretty shocked myself just seeing what actually happened. And I think the lanes are good for OG as well, so I think that's almost a dream start, except that they said first blood, but who cares in comparison to what they're getting.
Yeah, No Tails will have a really fast start in this mid lane, going up against 2 heroes, neither of whom can really challenge him. The fact that no range creeps have been denied at all. This is by far the slowest Lich start you're ever going to see. Like, even if Lich dies first blood for whatever reason, he'll have a better start because just eat 2 range creeps and it already makes it kind of worth it. With the Yapzor sitting right behind No Tail, yeah, he's not like completely safe, but he has Fairy Fire. He has level 2 that he still hasn't spent yet. They're going to jump in, couple mana burn, but he immediately Ghost Shrouds. Will he also eat the Fairy Fire? No, just Death Pulse, now completely out of mana, but a Mana Void would be nice here if it wasn't a level 2 Anti-Mage.
Yeah, it was a nice attempt, I guess. The thing is that this kind of results in No Tail not really being able to contest the lane, but Yapzor lost a lot of time, and yeah, he's not gonna be able to get a rune on No Tail. I did get it, but it doesn't help him much. Resolution is gonna be probably farming pretty well down here. We'll see if he managed to lose it, and mid one probably gonna try and deny as much as he can, but it is somewhat hard.
Any harassment you put onto Resolution is not going to last long. Whereas ordinarily it is going to be pretty permanent damage. Right clicks up against this extra armor item of Helm of Iron Will. 3 regen. It doesn't sound like a lot, but you know, when you're getting hit by a Shadow Strike every single time, when you're getting just a couple right clicks applied to you, like, this regen of Alchemist is going to keep him almost entirely safe until a 3rd hero rotates in towards his bottom lane. So Resolution is not only going to have like easy survivability, of course that builds into an armlet in the near future. He should be just fine. Ace in the meantime taking a couple of shots over in mid, is level 3 right now, does have a Ring of Health, so he has quite a bit of regen working for him as well, but all these lanes are being really hotly contested. You can tell because of the CS. Like, Anti-Mage has 20 in the mid lane, everyone else has like 10.
I think the thing that's standing out right now is lost hits. I think he probably hasn't missed a single one. I'm pretty surprised he didn't miss, like, usually you miss like 1 or 2 or 3 here and there, and you're gonna not be this high. But he already got that Ring of Health, so he can actually match the Alchemist and farm. He's able to keep this up, and the sidelines are going okay for both teams, I guess. S4 versus Fada is probably gonna be a pretty boring reforming for both.
Oh, they're going to jump in onto No Tail. Ghost Shroud mana is there with the stick and the Death Pulse. Getting body blocked a little bit. Yapzor, though, can't really stick around. And this is just a limitation to an Anti-Mage lane. If they burn out the Necrophos, he still will have the sticks to get into the Ghost Shroud, which I guess will cost him a little bit of potential health there, but it really isn't easy, or I would say even possible, to kill off a hero here until you get that level 6. At that point, oh yeah, you go for that every single time, but it's still a long ways off since Anti-Mage is in this full dual lane. At least Puppey, though, now has that point in sacrifice, so they could start eking out an experience advantage here.
Yeah, No Tail is struggling when it comes to HP and mana regen. He could contest this lane a bit like normally. A Necrophos doesn't really care because he has it built in the skill set, but having low mana and you can't really go up in the lane and be cocky that you normally can. And Resolution and this Yarax lane is a bit awkward because I've seen now several times he uses Illuminate and it ends up in Resolution missing 2 last hits, 1 last hit, 3 last hits, and he's could have been up around AMs, maybe not at AM, but a bit closer at least.
There's a reason why we see Alchemist usually go towards the mid lane. It's not because he dominates those lanes, it's because he inherently, by virtue of how the hero works, just pushes out the lanes really fast with the acid. We can see mid 1 is going to be getting like every single creep wave just hand fed to him in that bottom lane, and at that point Alchemist, yeah, will have the jungle to dip back to, but he will be putting himself at more and more risk, and he really will be kind of leaning on this jungle to really stay in this game. And Jerax as the Keeper of the Light is kind of the same way. He just naturally pushes out the creep wave, and at this point they're not really going to have a lot of creeps here to actually hit, since the 2 of them are going to be splitting the entire time. So that is somewhat going to cut into the Alchemist's farm, and it's not perfect CSing, but that being said, it is still going to be a safe lane Alchemist that is not really under any threat, not for a while. Like, rotations coming out of the mid lane, not really going to be influential. Anti-Mage or a Lich, that's not something that Alchemist is scared of. And top lane, if Fada roams out there, it's going to be so very obvious. The Puck is having a decent time, and he may consider like teleporting over towards mid if action starts there, which is certainly very possible. Yapzor is trying his best, but this is just another limitation of just the hero Rubik. You don't have that much damage, even with level 2 Fade Bolt.
Yeah. And top lane, there's not gonna be any kills happening. One thing to mention is mid 1's item choice. He did decide to go for a Ring of Health rush. He got it before boots. And this is one of the more smarter item choices I've seen, because usually when you play a hero like Pain and you play against Alchemist, you're struggling to stand in acid spray. You're like, I can't last it if I'm not standing in the spray, but if I stand in the spray, I will die. And this kind of counteracts it, and it only works in the offlane though, or in a side lane. It doesn't work in mid because you can't really afford to spend that much gold. But here it's a pretty genius move in my opinion.
Especially if, as a Queen of Pain, you go towards mid, you usually get a Blink Dagger, not a Blink Dagger, a Bottle. They're very different items there. He's gonna maybe set up for Resolution. Another dagger gonna be thrown out. Resolution gonna straight TP out, and they will have just enough damage. Yapzor in mid 1, sitting in the acid. Gotta watch out for this final Illuminate. Yapzor will dodge it mid 1 as well. Will blink out. They kill off Resolution, and maybe I was shit talking the rotations from the Lich, but level 2 Frost Blast, just enough to get that kill.
Yeah, and a TP wasted on Alchemist. That's the rough part for Resolution. Oh, Jibrax. I think he's out. Mid 1 does not have mana for Sonic Wave. Maybe should not have skilled it. Maybe would have been enough then. But he only went to 1 in Shadow Strike, so I doubt it. Resolution is moving to the jungle.
Yapzor and Fly in the Battle of the Century. Resolution's here.
Oh,
Yapzor really wants this bounty rune. Is gonna grab it. Fly has no mana though, so I think Yapzor is just fine.
And that was so well played. Like, he wouldn't have gone for it if top lane actually, there's a split being used only for survivability, I think. Yeah. Oh, could this be a kill actually?
Dispel Magic, pretty good on that tornado. Fada can phase shift, but he'll die to the immolation or the crit. As S4 resumes his main form, split on Puck is so difficult to use to actually get a kill. You do have to be pretty much perfect on that Cyclone timing, but he indeed was. They kill off the Puck, having a very easy start, or a very safe start, that Puck, but not to stay the case. They're now looking at mid lane, where No Tail is just going to have to go Shroud. Tower is going to die here soon. That's going to be a deny, most likely. Yeah, so I think it's okay for Fly to make that move. He makes the tower get in deny range, but just getting it down means a lot. So I don't really blame him for making that choice. And I mean, S4, I think that was a pretty, maybe a somewhat lucky play, but just when you get the crit kill, it feels better than just getting it with ultimate. So I think that was calculated. What's S4 looking like right now? It's the Soul Ring. There's not that much mana cost associated with the Drunken Haze to spam out on the Puck, but for sure if you're going to use the Clap as well, Brewmaster isn't really the sharpest nail, so does need a little bit of help in his mana pool, and it doesn't seem like there's really any pressure that Secret can apply to him up towards top. If they are going to apply any pressure, it's going to be on Resolution on the bottom lane, not towards the Brewmaster up towards top. They're going to lift him up, and then I guess force a no-tail rotation.
Yeah, they did do that, so that's a pretty good play. I think it was a decent chance at killing him, but they felt like if we can force a TP, we're gonna be happy about it. And haste on Far actually. Resolution used ultimate now, so
they're not really sure what hero they should be going for right now. Fada's gonna skip over the Illuminate and look for Jerax instead of No-Tail. Definitely the easier hero here. Coil onto 2. Fada has got to watch himself because No-Tail does have an ultimate, but the Sonic Wave will cut through first. No-Tail is going to go Ghost Shroud. Scythe will not get the kill. It's just short. And with the Fade Bolt, they'll lose 2. Fada styling, and those type of kills, and maybe not on the heroes that would really like S4, as well as Resolution still alive, but those are the type of kills that you need to get space for your Anti-Mage to get his Battle Fury.
Yeah, and talking about Anti-Mage, he's doing something that I haven't really thought about. That's actually also is I think a genius itemization, because normally when you see Anti-Mage mid, it's like they get the boots, and they maybe get a wand or whatever, and a raindrop. They pick up these small items, and the Battle Fury comes out at 19 minutes because they died like once and they go these items. But he's straight up rushing the Battle Fury, and I think this is a really good move. Because he's gonna get it at a pretty good pace, even though it could be better if he was safe and uncontested. But this is gonna escalate his farm a lot, and I do think this is the itemization that might win them the game.
Fly up towards top lane, gonna get jump. Puppy in mid 1 though, not getting any lucky bounces of the Chain Frost. No, actually they will. At the very tail end, Puppy will be dropped by the dots. And now mid 1 has a blink, and no real action here for S4, although mid 1 sticking around will pull out a rock that will be dodged. The Earth aspect will bring S4 back to safety. But yeah, I mean, the Battle Fury, it's the fact that he went for Battle Fury without boots, where like movement speed up against Necrophos is not really going to matter all that much. And the fact that Perseverance is, you know, a terrible item to have, like cost-effective wise, it's really bad. But regeneration in this fashion, where you're just taking a couple death pulses every once in a while, you have the ice armor and of course a poor man's shield, some pretty high base armor to survive those right clicks. It'll just pretty much solve all of his regeneration issues, kind of akin to the bottle that we usually see picked up by mid laners that are not anti-mage. So Ace is going to have a 12-minute Battle Fury, no boots perhaps. It's going to take quite a while longer, but he will be able to at least somewhat, as much as an anti-mage can, match the Alchemist's farm.
Yeah. I think this is gonna be pretty good for Secret. I think if he went the normal build, as in like getting maybe even brown boots, would have shortened his Battle Fury so much that it could have been a game-losing mistake. But this is gonna keep them in the game, I think. Resolution is decently farmed, even though he died once. He is keeping up as an Alchemist should, and he is gonna get a good timing on the Radiance. And Anti-Mage is gonna try and contest the Alchemist farm, and the timing is gonna hit when Resolution gets the Radiance. Are they gonna play it passive or gonna push? Because that's gonna determine most of this game until when Roshan starts happening. You know, that's when the game will change again. But OG's decision making now is gonna be crucial.
Well, they have the Blink Dagger on the Brewmaster. No split just yet, but for sure OG are ready to team fight. They have pretty much all the tools they need. I don't know what happened to Yapsor. He like jumped into some sort of hyperbolic time chamber. He's level 8 on the Rubik.
Jerax on top. He's gonna get killed by mid 1.
T-Tor's mid 1 is gonna be fine. Resolution was in the area, but level 1 concoction isn't gonna be doing all that much. But yeah, losing a Coddle. Level 6, we got level 5 on Fly, the Jakiro. These levels are coming up pretty large on the Secret side, and for a Lich you would expect that with Sacrifice, but for sure Rubik that spent most of his time just patrolling between bottom and mid and not really getting all that much action, his level is actually disgustingly high for right now, and they are thinking about maybe setting up for No-Tail. It does feel like they need a third hero here. They have another Chain Frost at the ready. Puppy is nowhere near position though.
No, I think another Bruce here is gonna be scared to make any moves. Fara is just gonna quick skip, I think, which is a pretty good move in itself. He did clean a wave.
He just TP right now. And he's
Oh, that's a committal though. I think he should die here, I think.
Oh, he will get sight. That is not going to be a kill. He will go down. That split happened a lot faster than I thought it would. Did they reduce the cast time of that split?
I'm not sure now, actually. I don't know. This hero has been like out of the meta for so long. I don't even remember how it changed. But I think that's okay for Farah, that play. I think it's definitely. Oh, meanwhile, Ace are stealing some major stacks actually. I think he stole some ancient creeps. I'm gonna steal 2 double stacks. At least 1 double stack. I don't think he'll get the other one.
Well, he'll jump out of there, not taking any risks.
Meanwhile, bottom lane.
Around the corner. Yeah, bottom lane Macropyre was used. Puppey and Yapzor kind of walled off by it. Mid one, of course, does have that blink. He can give chase, but just be careful not to chase too far. Liquid Fire dots will stack up, and he doesn't have any bottle charges. Backup is coming in the form of a respawned Puck. But Yapzor not quite close enough to pull anyone back in. Starting some fights though, and still this is only efforts of space creation for Ace. Brown Boots has power treads on the way, I would assume. Yes, they're on him right now. Still, you're not going to ever mirror the farm of an alchemist. That's just never going to happen as an anti-mage, but he's doing his darndest to try to keep up, and the rest of the team in the meantime also looking for these aggressive moves. Fada and Yapzor joined by Puppey a little bit further in the back, looking after No Tail, but they can't quite find him. Coil would have been used, but just on a Necrophos in the middle of nowhere like that, that would be a heavy risk. Very little prize. They're going to have to defend this top lane as well. Chemical Rage stolen on Yapzor, so he's tanky now, I guess. Can they assassinate this Jakiro? And they'll get right on top of him with a 2-man coil now. Fly will drop. Now can they kill off Resolution? Does seem like they need another 2 heroes for this. And the heroes are actually coming in for OG first, as Jerax is going to pull in S4. Got No Tail walking up there. They'll take this tower slowly but surely, but mid one will make a tower play of his own on the bottom lane, so yeah, this is going to be perhaps a little bit slow for OG. Like, the tower is nice for sure, but they really, really want a team fight right now with this Blink Dagger on S4.
Yeah, but they're kind of trying to punish Fata not having a blink, I think. That's their plan. Oh, S4 going in deep. That's probably 1 kill on Yapzor.
Oh, they lift up the Lich before he's able to throw out the Chain Frost. Might still be able to get it off, but it's spending so much time in the air. We'll finally ditch it onto No Tail, which will not be a Chain Frost, just a Frost. And that is going to be the team fight that we're looking for. Now, that is going to make the difference. It's not really like on the best heroes to kill off, but still you get involved in a fight as the Alchemist. You take down that tower, you're able to use the split to get a handful of extra kills. And that's exactly what OG should be looking for. Whenever they have that split, whenever they have that scythe, just walk around, look for the team fight, and then once it's done, just fall back and farm 10-tier lanes, because the anti-mage is going to be split pushing those out for as much as he's worth. That's Midas now on the Brewmaster, as well as an Atos on the Necrophos, so a perfect item to deal with this anti-mage and that Claw. Fly, though, is going to get jumped by mid one. Sonic Wave is available here. Dual Breath stolen. Mid one is going to think about saving it. He's going to use another Scream instead. He will get rooted with S4 right on his face. He still has a blink. He will not get down to the low ground, though. Mid one doesn't blink far enough. And he will go down, and off to the side, Resolution comes and cleans up Yapzor. That was a little bit of a greedy play there from Secret.
Jerax pushed him. He knew mid one was gonna blink backwards towards his own base, and he, oh my god, what a play, because he pushed it. Oh, that was such a good play, actually. And I mean, mid one should have used ultimate, then nothing of this would have happened. But he wanted to greed. This is a pretty classic cop mistake, as in, like, you want to save your ultimate because it's such a long cooldown for compared to other spells that are shorter cooldown and are higher impact at times. If you want to be very reserved on it, but it punished. The OG punished it very heavily, and Resolution is getting scarily farmed now. Ace is doing a good job at farming, but compared to an alchemist, you're not. It's gonna be hard, and also OG does have very good axe heroes. He's going for a Sturlock on bottom though. Needs one more attack.
Oh, the teleport's coming in with a Atos and a Scythe. Ace will get Scythe up to stun. Won't really do all that much. S4 though gonna jump forward with the split. He's now out of mana thanks to that Coddle, and Fly again just debating the secret heroes to go in a little bit too far. They have the storm aspect now. Wind walked forward. It does not blow the smoke though.
It needs to be the Earth Panda, I think.
Earth Panda is the main panda. No Tail is going to be grouped up with said panda. Both came with the Fade Bolt. Mid one does jump in onto No Tail. Orb damage is enough. Chain Frost this time bouncing through pretty well back to S4, and this neutral camp. Mid one, though, is going to get torn to shreds by Resolution and Jerax. The Alchemist pulled in by the Coddle. Vada now has to try to make a desperate escape. He will orb, not quite down to the low ground. It looks like he will still survive. And Secret also slip out of there with the Lich, so all things considered, the trade still isn't great for them, but trading the Queen of Pain for No Tail and for S4 is going to be well worth it, but still they have yet to deal with this Alchemist. He's going to take yet another tower, and not really sure if he's going to stop anytime soon.
Yeah, it's a nice play from Secret, but it's not gonna be enough if he keeps going caps, or he's playing very cocky. His team could back him up here though.
Well, he has a Yule Scepter. That will be a little bit defensively used there to get rid of Mana Leak, and that actually doesn't have an ultimate. 2 seconds only is the opening here for Secret, and they are going to jump in with Vada. Sonic Wave is here. Ace has also arrived. Sonic Wave, Ice Path's still stolen, but Resolution is still fine, although Ace is going to look to make this deal kill sealed. He'll get it with the Mana Void. Blink out before an Atos can land on him. Queen of Pain also going to get away from S4, but Puppy does not have that same luxury. They go in really, really deep and just get annihilated by this Illuminate. As now Yapsor and Vada stuck in the side. Well, Yapsor actually not stuck. He just walks clean out, and Vada doesn't have the blink, but S4 actually going to jump forward for a little bit of action onto this Rubik. Steals just the clap. That's not going to do enough, and Vada's very low on mana. The Anti-Mage is returning. S4 No Tail very weak, but there's no Mana Void to actually get the last hits. He's got to fight up against Evasion, and now the split is out. Onto the Anti-Mage won't do a lot of damage. Can he buy enough space for No Tail and Jerax to get a little bit of regen or get out? Jump in, silence onto No Tail. Fade Bolt will get the kill as Ace has just ignored
this
S4.
could be horrible for S4.
And now he has to try to make a break for it. He does have a Blink Dagger. It looks like he should probably be fine as no one's giving chase, but ultimately kills are exchanged, and I think Secret come out ahead there.
Yeah, that was good. I'm so scared when you see a Brewmaster commit ultimate and doesn't get anything, because then Rubik could steal the ultimate, and that's total disaster. But he did play properly, and he did use send up on Rubik while running out with their Panda, so he secured his own escape and made sure that Rubik could not steal the Panda split. So that's definitely the sign of an experienced player right there. It doesn't change the scenario for Secret much though, even though they got some nice kills. They are still in this position where they are letting a Resolution free farm, and they are not farming that good, and also S4 did pick up this Midas earlier. So the game state kind of has to change for Secret. That either happens by continuing farming and then getting some pickups, or maybe going for a bigger play like a Roche or a big smoke gang.
You have to watch out. Resolution is moving up towards the top lane. Is going for an Assault Cuirass first here. Opposed to going for additional health. S4 on bottom lane, dead in the duration of the silence.
Huge kill.
Blink clap from this Rubik. A little bit of Brewmaster's own medicine.
It's a very efficient spell. Jerax is running down to defend it though. He is not going for an Axe, so he's gonna be expecting that later from a solution, but that makes the game maybe harder to when it comes to defending, but Secret are not really in a position to push either.
They're gonna jump in, find themselves yet another Jakiro. Now all these previous Jakiro kills were baits. This one...
Oh, Ace bottom lane? This could be a bit scary for OG. Do they have TP response?
They just teleported mid, so I would assume no. Oh, No Tail have his in 2 seconds.
Yeah, but that's still 5 seconds that Ace can push more or less. So I mean, he's not gonna get the tower, so it's not a disaster or anything for OG. But this is the type of plays that will make Secret be able to win this game. He's gonna be scared. A bit disappointed that he didn't do any damage, but still gotta be careful about that for OG. And Secret could definitely go for some kind of like split push play on Ace.
Well, Ace is gonna make this bottom lane his home. It's where the jungle camps are. where of course that lane is as well to farm up. I am very impressed at Secret's ability to get this farm, and though the Alchemist is leading by a good 4, almost 5k gold above the Anti-Mage, his allies are really starting to suffer. That's even with this Hand of Midas on the Brewmaster. No-Tail is very, very poor on this Necrophos. I still think this is the right build, or a good item at least, this Rod of Atos against the AM and the Quap, but just not enough sights landing on kills, not enough farm being given towards him because of the fact that he's with a Coddle, he's with an Alchemist. They just typically tend to just devour all the farm on the map, and of course the Anti-Mage is stealing a lot of that farm as well. So now Secrets, their gold deficit is entirely doable. Like, that is such a small net worth lead for an Alchemist team.
Yeah, it is. And also, you know, S4 went on Midas to try and increase that net worth lead, and it's not really working right now. No-Tail finally picked up his blink. He is struggling a lot. He's gonna be forced, Resolution is definitely gonna be forced to give Necro-like Axe maybe a bit earlier. But I think kind of the meta nowadays, or like how teams play nowadays, is that they don't necessarily give a lot to the true carry in the team, both in like Liquid and OG, for example. So this is a smoke that needs a kill. It needs results.
Resolution gonna blink in, finds Ace with 1 stun. Puppey sneaks in a 4 staff, but there's still the Rod of Atos, Ice Path, and a Scythe. There's no damage here though. It won't kill, nowhere close. They do kill off Puppey, but they lose S4 elsewhere. There's an Orchid on mid 1, that's why they're able to take down that Brewmaster. So Anti-Mage survives, and that exchange for OG is nowhere near worth it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they could have. Resolution went for Lich, and I'm not sure if that's a good or bad decision. If he went for Anti-Mage, I'm not sure it would have worked out. Resolution does have a lot of right-click damage though, which would have been efficient on Ace. I was definitely questionable though, and Ace is starting to become very firm now. Just looking at his items, he is scary. His Lincolns, it's super hard to deal with for OG's lineup. And also the Orchid on mid 1, there's no answer to it right now. There is a Manta on Resolution, but that's it.
That gets on to Resolution, or S4, when he's trying to initiate the split. But down the line when it's Bloodthorn, they can very easily tear apart Brewmaster.
This is an important play,
evasion won't do much for them. With the double damage though on Resolution, they will be able to jump in, grab Roche pretty safely, pretty quickly, but the jump in from Fada. Chain Frost is out as well. Will bounce back to S4. He will get the split off. Resolution takes a lot of damage from that in the meantime. Wasn't ever going to die to that. They will absorb this. Wow, that Sonic Wave was not the play mid 1. Now he's in a little bit of trouble. We'll blink up to the high ground. Just try to make a break for it with the bottle fighting against that Mana Leak. We'll have another blink now, and he will get away as they take down Fly elsewhere. Now looking for No-Tail perhaps. The Queen of Pain has survived. No-Tail though is pretty difficult to actually deal with. Resolution will survive at the end of the day. Barely. But over towards bottom lane, Ace is going to start ratting. S4 is here, but the haze gets blocked by the Lincoln Sphere. And this tower is going to drop here. S4 cannot hold this by himself. Ace is going to grab it and be on his merry way. Secret now with the gold lead above the Alchemist draft, as OG just can't find the proper pickoffs.
Yeah, and I think S4 is regretting his Echo Saber choice this game. It kind of makes some sense, but compared to maybe a Lotus, it seems lackluster. And like I mentioned a few minutes ago, Ace's split pushing power is real, and that's also a result, or I think, of Coddle going for these items instead of trying to get an Axe himself. But it's an issue when you have Alchemist that he soaks too much gold, and bottom lane Lie is gonna go down, and not a major kill is gonna spawn before they can mount a push if they do that. But Shrines should be taken down now, slowly at least, if not directly.
Looks like Ace is gonna leave that Shrine alive, even though it is live. I mean, it takes quite a long time to actually kill off those buildings. I'm not really sure if it's worth it for him to go for that above going for these jungle camps, but
I think he should send some Mantas there. The thing is, when you kill tier 3 at this kinda early, you don't really, it doesn't trigger in your mind instantly. So it takes you like a minute or two before you realize that Shrines are killable. Off lane.
Resolution.
I don't know if mid 1 I think that was a weird blink by him. I don't know if he predicted it or if he just kind of blinked randomly.
Well, he has a Lincoln
Maybe he's
Sphere,
spotted.
so the concoction will never do anything.
Yeah, so I was a bit confused there what happened. Because Resolutions did see the Lincolns at the same time, so it was a bit bizarre. S4 is not doing too good on his Brewmaster this game, and he's pretty far away from the BKB, which he does need pretty badly. Ace is almost caught up to Resolution. He might catch up within a few minutes, which is not the dream scenario for OG here.
Secret are getting just all this farm on all these heroes. Supports are, not doing crazy good, but Yapzor's net worth is looking pretty darn good. Above the Coddle, who usually gets a ton of gold. He's out farming him right now, so the Rubik level 16. Gunning for that additional spell steal level. It's not really going to be huge. His talents are, they're fine, but it's not game breaking in favor of the Rubik. But still, just being able to level up, getting this gold income. Who knows what his next item is going to be? It might be Lincoln Sphere, might not be, but already they have 2 Lincoln's effects on the team. Maybe a little bit of overload, perhaps. For sure can change, but these items are just not coming up on the OG side. Like, Fly is constantly getting picked off, and Jerax has a very low amount of farm. Yapzor, please. Bottom lane, though, is still being pushed. Aegis is not really with that much duration. They gotta try to leverage this Alchemist, though, because I'm pretty sure OG know that their timings are slipping away.
Yeah, this is a pretty forced push, but it's also a scary push at the same time. S4 did get level 18 just now, so the primal split is strong, especially just using it to take down a tower maybe is a good play. The only thing that you have to be very scared of then is that Ace just kills your entire base. During that you might get a Rax, but Ace might get 2 Rax. So I think this push is good, but it's super scary that they might get split pushed. But most of Secret are keeping home to defend, and Ace, does he have a TP? He does have. Everyone is ready to defend if needed, but yeah, this is a pretty forced push overall. Like, this is not what you want to do, this is what you're forced to do. So pretty peculiar that they're really going for it this hard.
They do have
Jerax
the luxury of Jerax being able to yank them back in 25 seconds, of course. Coddle can't really hold back Ace by himself, though. Mana Leak is usually pretty annoying, but with a Lincoln Sphere and a Manta Style, that really will never work. So this is probably going to be OG, I think, just falling back. Like, if Secret just teleport with everyone right now, except for Ace, they'll get this tier 2 tower in the mid lane. This tower in the bottom lane for Secret, like, it will be chipped at a little bit, but with ice armor and the fact that Alchemist just doesn't do all that much damage versus structures with this build, I don't really see this working out well for OG unless they could win a big team fight and really force the issue in this bottom lane.
I think they might try and use Brewmaster Ultimate even if it ends up being S4 dying, but it's a very risky play. It's 30 minutes in and Alchemist is not ready to give any eggs though, which is not a good position to be in at all. A free farming Alch would at this point be starting to get eggs out. They are very good eggs heroes on OG. I think that's their main card to play in late game. But the Ace is getting very scary, not only for the cores, and not only for the supports. I mean, the cores have to be very scared of Ace now because of Basher on Resolution, and that's a potential solo kill.
Alchemist has gone for not that AC that he had in his quick buy, just going for the pretty classic Alchemist build. This is completely standard stuff, but even if he does have that Chemical Rage on, like, he'll just take so much damage from the Anti-Mage with the Manta Style with the Basher. Should be able to survive that, I would say, like, assuming there's like a Force Staff or Glimmer, and there is quite a bit of tools that OG can use to help out there, but it is getting to that stage, right, where the Alchemist, despite being 5k net worth ahead, is kind of going to have to play by his timings, just kind of hope that the Anti-Mages get those lucky bashes off. And of course that Abyssal is always going to land, at least for right now. No way to absorb that on the OG side, so this is, as you said, a really, really desperate play here for OG. Alchemist had a lot of time to farm in this game, but the allies on his squad, they definitely suffered.
Yeah, it's not a pretty sight for, especially for No-Tail. He's getting an Orchid, which is very rare on a Necrophos. This boss is taking a long time, still DC, getting a bit worried about that. It's already been a bit over 5 minutes, I think. He's still not back.
Something like that.
Haven't really given a specific reason either, so slowly getting a bit anxious.
Well, he's restarting something. Could be anything. Hey, Windows updates. Here's great time to install. We're just gonna go ahead and install some updates for you, Yapzor. Here you go.
Yeah, that's not a fun part of Dota games. Mid one going Shivas. He has had a remarkable recovery though. You know, remember that Sonic Wave in mid lane he did, which was a big mistake, and then he played it perfectly after that. I remember he ran, so he had like 61 mana for the blink out. If he had run just a little bit too long, he wouldn't have been able to blink, and then he would have died. But he ran just perfectly distance, and then managed to blink out before he went down. And I think that was at the same moment Ace ratted bottom.
Yeah,
that was a pretty slick play that could have, if he failed that could have resulted in maybe OG straight up pushing mid and ignoring the ratting that was going on.
It's just gonna come then once again, like, show the weaknesses of these support heroes for OG. Like in heads up fight up against the Quap, there's an Ice Path, there's Mana Leak and the pushback, the Blinding Light for the Coddle, which is quite nice versus the Queen of Pain if you're able to actually burn her out of mana and, you know, prevent a Sonic Wave or something like that. But you know, no real way to just stand their ground and fight. No easy stuns that they can throw towards the Queen of Pain, assuming she didn't have a Lincoln Sphere to block anything they had anyway. So these OG supports are behind, and though you would expect for a Coddle to be able to get further ahead, it does seem like, as you said, like he's just waiting for that Ags from his Alchemist buddy, and that's a long ways off. If he had it right now, this sustain on this push, let's say it was daytime, they could definitely do some serious damage down here. And of course pull, I mean, that was, and if he's over there too, okay? If he's over on the bottom lane, and he had the Ags, and if it was daytime, which is like pretty, more or less standard Keeper of the Light plays at 30 minutes, this timing push would be great, but they're just not with that hero. Not with that power level.
I mean, I've seen Coddles with like Ags 4-stat BOTs at this point. And this is not a pretty sight in comparison. Oh, he is back now. We're gonna see how OG decides to play this. They've had a lot of time to think, and I think Secret is the team that's gonna be reactive to OG's. If OG decide to push like this, then it's up to Secret to decide how they're gonna play the fight. If they're gonna split push or try and defend, I think trying to split push is definitely a valid choice. However, the bottom lane is pushed all the way into Secret's base, and mid lane is gonna take a few seconds, which could result in OG going into racks. So we're gonna see how they play. Still trying to be ready for the game. He is connected. He's going Linkus, by the way, but that's pretty far off. There's not too many interesting items coming up. No, a Linken's on, I mean a Yule's on Puck, but it's not insane. And we're about to go, finally.
Alright, what's the play here? Quap is just going to destroy one more creep wave here as they do apply the ice armor over to this bottom lane. Fada gonna thin the creep wave. Hope for that backdoor protection to kick in. Not quite just yet. There is a creep wave nowhere nearby on this bottom lane for the Radiant. They just still have to stick around. They gotta go all in. They're looking for Puppy, saving that Force Staff as long as he can. He will get Scythe, but it's not actually gonna kill him off. Chainfrost still bounces between S4 and No-Tail. He needs to get the split off immediately, but he's hit with the Orc and he will go down. Oh no, that was not the play. No-Tail now in a lot of trouble, trying to get up to the high ground, but he doesn't have a Force Staff, so he just ran up against the wall. Ace is stuck in the base of the Radiant right now, up against the buyback from S4. He will be able to blink out. He will be able to make his escape. Fly, though, will not. If they drop the coil and get another one, Secret get 3 heroes, pull out a buyback, keep their tower alive. I did not expect that result, and I don't think OG expected that either.
No, imagine if S4 had a Lotus that fight though. Then another pause. That is pretty frustrating. Not only for us, but even more so for all the players. Not only OG, of course. But I really see the Echo Saber as a big mistake from S4, and I think he probably thinks that as well. As in, the Lotus could have been definitely a game-winning item in that fight if when they commit for him that hard and he just pops ultimate. Worst case scenario, I think they take the tower and get out alive with most. That's like the worst case scenario for OG there, I think.
But now S4 forced to buy out. At least still has that ultimate. They have a target up towards top lane. Anti-Mage is gonna have time to dodge this projectile. He has Manta in 1 second.
He has
Lincoln Sphere
Lincoln
can
as
eat
well,
this. Like, he'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't think Irax will get in time to trigger the Lincolns in any way. Even then, I doubt they have the damage to kill him.
Ace was
They
able to
could
take
get
down that
close,
tier
though.
2 in the mid lane. No real damage outside of that. Looks like he may have tried to go for the Coddle in the meantime. Or, I mean, ended up in the middle of the Radiant base in kind of an awkward spot. But still was able to take the tower, and the fight was won pretty handily by Seeker without them. I'm kind of surprised by how little damage that Scythe did versus the Lich. It looked like he had percentage-wise enough, but I guess that Shrine healing just doing just enough to keep that Lich alive.
Yeah, it's not a level 3 ultimate either on Necro, so can be a bit deceptive. You expect it to be maxed at this point. He is back now. Very worrisome though, like that he's DCing this much. It's not like once now. It's been consistently, and could definitely affect Secret quite a lot, and potentially make it a lot of a harder game than it should be, and maybe potentially even lose. They are in a very good position though. They are 7k up in net worth against an Alchemist, which is not really what should be happening in Alchemist games. And he DC'd again.
This is bad. This is really bad for the Secret side. I don't know what the rules are for this, but I don't know if they're enforced. I don't know, man. I just don't know. What I do know though is that mid one did collect pretty huge off of that last fight. Had the Shiva's Guard in his quick buy. Still does with the plate mail already picked up, and is going to have that pretty rapidly. And there is quite a bit of magic damage coming out from OG, so Shiva's Guard, you know, offensively, of course, is going to be great once he gets that spell Lifesteal talent, and will have a little bit of slow effect on that Alchemist, but, you know, not going to be a completely super tanky quap in this game. The Rubik as well survived through all that. The Lich, I mean, they're getting some items up. Not you know, huge items, not going to be game-winning items, but the Yule Scepter, and now Rubik seems like he's back. And it seems like he may have settled on some item options here. Lincoln Sphere and or Aghanim Scepter down the line for him. And Anti-Mage, of course, will escape that top lane scenario, still with Manta-Style available.
Yeah, he is closing in on level 25, where he has some interesting choices. I don't know what people generally go, honestly. I always think the Mana Void is cool, but 20 seconds is like too much. If it was like, if it made it 10 seconds, it would be pretty amazing. So I'm kind of
or 0 seconds. You know, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, that would be nice. And other than that, there aren't really any. Alchemist doesn't have the most insane talents. Pop has one incoming that's super good though, with the spell lifesteal. And Gapsor is actually pretty high level as well, but his talents aren't ridiculous either. No-Tail going pretty deep here.
Yeah, pulse stolen by Yapsor is going to bring No-Tail a little bit closer to mid one, who's not that healthy. He did have the Lincoln Sphere up, and in the backside we got a coil onto 2.
Axe on Yerax as well now.
Yeah, he's with that. Daylight though in 10 seconds. They're going to need that soon. They're going to jump in towards the Alchemist. His ultimate runs out, and he does get the Aegis reclaimed. Popping the Manta-Style now, but he's not getting that much support from his allies. Will again have another ultimate available. Chain Frost still bouncing. They'll disengage away from the split. As this potion does go out, Yapsor will dodge it. Mid one has a blink out, as does Yapsor. The chase is on for Secret Heroes, but already we have A couple getting out. 2, 3, 4. Everyone is gonna live.
What a good
Oh my
play.
god, that was very close to being an absolute disaster from OG. This still is far from good, but it could have been so much worse.
Yeah, a very good escape from Secret. As soon as the Premier Split comes out, they all run. They realize that that's what to be scared of. So they bail. And after getting a core kill on Necro, who is struggling, to say it mildly. Mid one, gonna have a DD. He is very close to the Shivas, which is a pretty big pickup here, especially against the Brewlings, I'd say. Also good against... Oh, what is this?
Well, Ace is just gonna YOLO in towards Fly in the mid lane. Sonic Wave will cut him down. No-Tail gets silenced in the meantime. I'm not really sure what that Alchemist play was. There was no one up there to get yanked in, but Jerax
they were trying to make some
is gonna find a mana leak on the Anti-Mage. He'll immediately buff it out. Resolution gonna scratch him a couple times.
Yes,
He doesn't
no
have any
walking
damage
now.
here. Now the Macropyre, is that stolen by Yapzor? It looks like it is. They'll get out there with Jerax scooting down to the low ground. Fada does have the coil, but no real opportunity to jump in there. So Secret once again getting in, getting out real clean. And they just have to kind of wait for nighttime. I feel like that's the only thing that's keeping OG and their base intact right now is the fact that Jerax can counter push and he has full vision, so he's not going to get picked off.
Yeah, the cores on Secret are so elusive. You know, they have 3 blink arrows, and they are very balanced. They have Lincolns on 2, and Fada he has even more elusiveness than the other 2. Oh, they are Ace.
Oh, he's going to take a lot of damage here. Scythe won't quite kill. Illuminate, still not good enough. The stun duration, though, seemingly forever will kill off the Anti-Mage. Now chasing after Yapzor, can't juke this. You may Scythe
That's a gem as well.
No, not going to happen.
Oh,
They will take down a handful of heroes over in the bottom lane. In the meantime, Jakiro going to get jumped by the Quap. No Sonic Wave, though, so a TP out is going to keep him alive. They take down 2 of the biggest possible targets. I mean, well, not 2. One of the biggest possible targets with the Rubik as well, Fada.
I mean, I'd say 2.
Will get out. But they do take down Ace, and that is not an easy task.
That was a bit too greedy by Ace farming that neutral camp. I thought he blinked out and like, oh, he's out. And then like he blinked like closer to them. But I'm not sure if they can push here. I think Ace might actually be able to hold the buyback.
Seem like
mid one, bottom lane?
Yeah,
He's
they
gonna get a
need
solo kill.
either mid one in this lane or elsewhere. Fly will die to the soul burn. And they will commit the Chain Frost over in this mid lane, try to thin the herd a little bit, but with the ice armor and only the Lich holding this, it will be the tower to fall. Still, Quap is doing her job on the bottom lane, looking for racks.
Oh, no
S4
take.
is kind of being herded into corner here, as is Resolution. Fada, though, is completely out of mana. They will get the jump in onto the Brewmaster. He has no split, but there's no damage here, as the puck is kind of being kept out. But mid one will solo kill No-Tail in the meantime, as they're still fighting over this mid-racks. The Anti-Mage is up in 10 seconds. OG don't have enough
they need to
power
get out.
here. And nighttime is going to be
cannot
coming
fight
very
here.
soon as well. The Brewmaster is hit with the Soul Burn. He's silenced. Push back is going to give him some space. The split, though, is not going to come out in time. And now Anti-Mage is back. Can he catch up to anyone? Looks
Coddle.
like Jerax is in vision range, and he has
That's it,
Dust. They are going to take down the Coddle, take his gem, and it is nighttime soon as well. Ultimately, the racks will be claimed for Secret, and OG get nothing.
That was rough. Just watching mid one on bottom lane. Like he first he killed Fly, who was close, and then he's like, okay, I can just hit Rex now. And then like No-Tail, I'll defend it, boys. And then he dies as well. And Minion is like, okay, I just got 2 kills and Rex. Thanks, guys. And I mean, this also the issue of S4 not having anything to get out of Orchid is just showing more and more. But Secret playing very well, and they are keeping good control of this game, even when they kind of get into a very pressured situation by good plays from OG. They're keeping their calm, and Roche is up very soon, so that's the next big objective for the teams to contest.
Anti-Mage teleporting out to that shrine to get up to that Coddle. He buys Dust to replace that TP scroll. And that's a really smart heads-up play there from Ace. Seems like a no-brainer, but when you're playing an Anti-Mage, those type of things of, you know, do we have detection? It's not really number one in your mind. It's more like, do my supports have detection for me? But yeah, this Roshan is going to be respawning momentarily. And with bottom lane, pushed by super creeps, pushed by Fada as well, OG, they will really struggle to get out on the map and actually get to the Roche pit while still being somewhat inconspicuous, let alone make a fight happen afterwards. Fada is still playing games with them over in the bottom lane. Lincoln Sphere will block that route from No-Tail. Forces out the coil, but S4 and No-Tail right now are just kind of awkwardly stuck doing nothing, while in the meantime, Secret are working on Roche.
Yeah, meanwhile Fada is like, why aren't you killing Roche yet, guys? I'm keeping them here. They are gonna get it. I think it was a bit slow, but it's gonna be fine. They made sure that they are there. Is there another Axe out yet? I haven't paid much attention. There's still the one on call. That's the only one. And it doesn't look like Alchemist is gonna get another one for someone. There is two pretty good ones, I'd say, or like the two next one would be the S4s as well as No-Tails. I don't really... The Primus Pit doesn't get... It's the spell fight, it's not that much more though. So
yeah,
it can be neglected, I think.
I don't think anyone really is, as far as Brewmasters are concerned anymore, not really interested in going for that kind of all-in on the ultimate base builds that we used to see in the past when Ag's Brewmaster would make your guys just absolutely monstrous. Now it's definitely a lot weaker, and you know, Macropyre is not really sure worth the upgrade either. Top lane tower will be pushed. Ace does have that Aegis, and the Queen of Pain does have, well, double armor items, double plate mail items rather. AC and Shiva's Guard, opting for those instead of the straight Maelstrom, which she will actually just get next. Actually killing off this Queen of Pain will be pretty difficult. It does seem like No-Tail really is the only person to do it. Resolution on all of base damage, can't really afford to. He's going to jump in, looking for the Lich, but the Glimmer Cape's going to keep him safe. They don't have any detection here. Ace is going to get Blinding Light pushed back. He's going to Manta-Style that off though, and Chain Frost still bouncing through onto the next post. That'll be No-Tail down. He can't get the Scythe out. Resolution now on the run, as the Brewmaster's doing what he can to slow down this chase, but Resolution does not get enough help here. Alchemist does have a buyback. They will return, but the Brewlings, they are not in a great spot right now. They're chasing forward, looking for Jerax or at least Fada and mid one. They are going to try to go for this Keeper of the Light. The damage is just enough. And where did S4 get off to? He is going to survive, it looks like. Just narrowly TP out. All these casualties, or most of them at least, will have buyback, but still Secret, now with a 26k gold lead above the Alchemist, are looking pretty darn unstoppable. They're going to try to make one last desperation fight, but mid one's taking literally no damage here from that Alchemist hit. They're going to get on top of Jerax, kill off the Coddle for good. He's down for a full minute, no buyback, and still they have the cheese, and still they have the Aegis. Mid one is not losing any HP here. He'll blink forward with the spell Lifesteal, get right back up to full, and he's just going to continue this fight. Anti-Mage, where is he? He's going to jump right in, kill off S4. That's GG.
Yeah, what a performance on Secret. Really clean. Ace is definitely performing as a carry for them. You know, there's the game one where he played the Knights, that was not the most fun out of Knights I've seen. And here he just plays the total #1 role to kind of show that he is not a one-type player. He's definitely versatile and very talented. And I think he made the most impact for his team to take this game.
For sure, Ace looking like an all-star here for Team Secret, but also just Team Secret as a whole, looking like the European all-stars. I mean, looking at some of these other teams that got far along in the SLI bracket, it's obviously Secret and OG had Kingwin there, had Mouse Sports, but Secret, you know, drop a game here and there, but for the most part, looking extremely, extremely powerful, as they are going to secure their spot in the show. Grand Finals now over, 2-0 in favor of Secret, and OG, well, they get nothing. Unfortunately for them, it does seem like they have a couple of issues to iron out. That is going to mean that we are actually done for today on this stream. I think I didn't look at all of it again, but I'm pretty sure all the SLI qualifiers are done. So the stream might be dead for a little while, guys. Be sure to hit that follow button here anyway, because this stream always has something going on, or sometimes has something going on. Maybe I have a little bit of a break, but you can follow us on Twitter as well if you enjoyed the casting. For myself, it's at Mike Loris. You can follow my co-caster at Kefka Dota. And dude, any final words here?
No, more than Secret is just totally becoming a European powerhouse, and OG I think they're gonna step up soon, though. They just need to get back into it.
All right, guys, that's it for us. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you next time. GG.